Brian Powell of Iron here with Kaytlyn Gerbin before the 2019 Western States 100. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
You are awesome. How are you doing? It's a beautiful day out here.
Yeah.
You're back at Western States for the third straight year.
Yep.
You're so excited about it.
I'm still super excited. It's awesome to be back here like for the third year in a row, and we actually have a lot of similar logistics as what we did last year, so it's pretty familiar. Like we drove down, we left around the same time, stopped in similar places. We're staying in the same house this year, so it kind of feels like it's just another year back here, which is pretty fun.
Takes out some of the mental work of preparing.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's nice.
I think that's nice. Yeah, I think it's nice that I've done the race. This is my third year, so because of that, it's like I've got 2 years in a row of figuring out all the nitty-gritty logistics and crew stuff and all that, and I kind of like I've saved all my spreadsheets and all my note cards and all this stuff from other years, so a little bit less planning maybe.
Now, so to dive a little deeper into that, have you changed anything? Like, so you have this base plan. What have you tweaked over the last 2 years?
I had a really awesome icing strategy for this year, but now it's maybe not going to be quite as hot. So I don't even know if I'll be able to do that. But I like got some different. I have a plan for different shapes and sizes of ice cubes depending on where they go.
You did.
But
do you have like Sonic ice in the hat?
No,
and
but I mean, I like
half moons.
I love putting ice in my sports bra to cool down, but like all the tiny little cubes just bounce out. So I got like a bigger, like like the cocktail ice, for cocktail ice, and so it's a nice big ice cube. But I don't know if I'm gonna need. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, it is like no matter. It's not a hot year at Western States.
Yeah.
But in the Canyons, it's still going to be warm.
Yeah.
Like,
and it'll still be hot for me because coming from Seattle, we've actually had like a pretty nice weather spring so far, but it's still like, this is still like relatively hot compared to what I'm used to lately. So no, it'd still be icing, but I think like in terms of last year, I had all these crafty ideas about different ways to stay cool, and maybe I'll try them, but
I'll use the existing apparel. You haven't like sewn up any bandanas or...
I have some crafting, some ice bandanas, but I've had those in the years past.
Okay.
Too, so
I'll have to keep my eyes open for those.
Yeah, just making some new ones, fresh ones.
And how has training gone? Because you've had years to sort of perfect, I think, your approach.
Training's good. It's always fun. Every year, I think I've come into it a little bit differently. And my goal this year was just not to overdo it. I did 2 longer distance races earlier in the year already, and so I knew that like I have the endurance, I've got the strength, and I just wanted to fine tune some speed. So the key was just like not overdoing it for me, which is not that much.
How do you balance that? Like you did Madeira Island Ultra Trail, which is a long race, long time. How do you balance that in like April and then get back to training and
So I did a similar thing last year with the World Championship race, and I found that having a break in the spring for me was mentally the best thing ever, because I started off last year in the spring training like specifically for states, trying to pick races that would really cater to like a Western States type buildup, and I just wasn't enjoying it as much, and I kind of like I got the opportunity to be on the U.S. team around April, like it was pretty like close to the race, and it was just like a breath of fresh air. I'm like, great, I'll do a bunch of verti technical stuff that'll be fun, and then I can get that fitness and that strength and come back and like have like a couple weeks of just focused states training. So I did a similar thing with Madeira this year, and Madeira for me was like fun. It was like a birthday run, like bucket list place to go and run, and husband Ellie came with me too, so that was really fun. So I just made sure I got recovered from that, and then went into a few weeks of faster, shorter runs. So Madeira,
I mean, that training for that and that course is not in sync with Western States.
No, not at all. Not at all. But
it's fitness.
And
you had a good time, and it's not.
It's fitness and it's fun, and I think like one thing. I mean, like Western States is definitely a goal race for me, and so I wanted to be cautious in what I did for training for that. But at the same time, like I'm doing this for fun. I want to have fun with it, and I was super excited about the opportunity to get to run there. The same with Gran Canaria earlier in the year. And so I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to go for it. Like, I'll do it. I'll listen to my body, make sure, hopefully I can, stay fit and stay healthy and not do too much. But it was fun. So
and I
don't regret it.
Now it's June, you feel fresh and ready to go. Nice.
I'm excited. I'm excited for something new. And it was fun. Like, I tend to be drawn more to like verti technical stuff. And so for me, like, doing that and training for stuff over the spring and the winter, like that's just what I have access to. So then I came back, recovered, and then was like, okay, like now I just need to work on like speed, which is something I don't normally focus on.
And you don't want to, you would mentally or physically burn out if you did that for looking at a 6-month block.
Exactly. Yeah. So this way I could kind of keep it compartmentalized and still have a lot of fun.
Now, how is the Pacific Northwest this year? Because in like Colorado and the Sierra here, there's just been a shit ton of snow.
Yeah.
So it's been really hard for people to get as much vertical training, at least until recently.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case in the Pacific Northwest.
We had a crazy snowstorm come and hit like the lower foothills in February and March. So a lot of those trails were not runnable. But then things melted out and we've had access to, I mean, like all of the like Issy Alps, like, so Cougar, Squawk, Tiger, right where I live, we can get pretty good vert and good running in there, and there's no snow, so that's been nice.
It's been good.
So things are starting to melt out. Like one of my favorite trails on the PCT nearby where I live, like I just did last week, and I'm like, great, of course it's all melting out right as I'm tapering and like getting ready to go into the race.
But that's also fun. You're getting new terrain as the season goes on.
Yeah, that's true. So we actually didn't have that nasty of a winter.
Gotcha.
So.
And I bet you're pretty psyched about the cool temperatures. Or relatively.
I don't know. I really wanted to use my icing strategies. I mean, I don't know. I actually feel like I'd be more excited if it was really hot again. Yeah. I know how to manage the heat here, and I figured that out, and I know what my pacing and like effort level should be in that heat. And I feel like States in a cooler year is a different kind of race, and it's a new variable. And like I think I'm thinking about it in that way. Like I think normally like the heat would be the variable for people, but even removing the heat is also a variable. And I think like making sure that I don't just go out too hard because it's cooler and it feels easy. Like, I mean, it's still a long race. It's still going to get hot in the canyons. It'll still be, you know, you still finish through the canyons and have 40 miles to run. Yeah. I mean, it's still 100. So there's a lot of different things to manage.
There's going to be a lot of variables in the first 30 miles this year with the snow.
Yep.
And the cool temps, like people are going to feel good temperature-wise and effort-wise, but it's also really somewhat inefficient conditions with the soft snow and whatnot.
And that's so like my first year here in 2017 was the same way with the snow all the way through the high country, the snow and the mud. And I, you know, with going into the high country that year, I slowed down a lot. I was way behind my splits, but then I was super glad I did that because later other people burned up and had pushed really hard to crank it through those conditions, and I'm going to lose my hat. But, you know, so I think it's all about managing the terrain and the race and just, you know, reminding like patience and reminding myself that like it's going to be a long day. And
so it sounds like there's a common theme, whether it's because of, you know, slower conditions, whether it's because of snow or because of heat. You're not going to try to push through that artificially. You're going to respect what that is and just
I need to like
take it.
Got to be patient.
Nice.
So
well, good luck being patient out there and have a fun race.
Thank you.
Thank you.